What's going on, guys? This is Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group, and I have a very special guest today. Uh, Billy the Kid, William Dreadlock Savage, um, Bonnell, William Bonnell. Um, Billy's actually in Florida, and he's been in real estate. He's been in the real estate game now for 20 years. And I got to tell you, we were joking around before we got on here, and I was like, I guess people need to tune in or fuck off. And he's like, yeah, I like that. So I didn't put the F word, but I put the F. So it says tune in or F off. So this is going to be some pretty interesting stuff. We're going to cover a ton of stuff over the next, hour or so. If we run short, fine. If we run a little over, that's fine too. Let me give you a little bit of an introduction to this young fella. As I said, he's been in the business for 20 years, since he's 18 years old. That's pretty impressive in itself. He was a broker. He was involved in financing, rehab, rentals, wholesaling, short sales, new construction, notes, other creative strategies over the last 20 years. He's got me beat by 5. He started in 2000. Guys, that's 20 years. I mean, that's a lifetime. People retire during that time frame. He was training others in 2006. Has an amazing success story or information regarding the 2008 crash. Majority of investors are losing their shirts, but he actually found the best way of making money in real estate. Still doing it right now. And are you still coaching?
Yes.
So he's still coaching. So if you guys want, obviously you can reach out to him direct. I'm going to put his information on the bottom. You can reach out to him direct. This is something, guys, that I'm doing. So if you're coming on and you want to talk about who you are, the services that you provide, and something that you feel that is relevant in the current market, we're going to be doing a different show. I actually just showed Willie the new somewhat logo that we have for going on for at night. So that's going to be coming on pretty soon. I'm probably going to launch that in the next week or two. I've got some heavy hitters lined up to be on that. Maybe we'll invite you back for the night edition. The night edition is going to be a more direct approach. You might even be able to put the full word of the F up versus just the letter, and really talk about stuff. You and I have known each other socially since 2008. So we're no stranger to social distancing.
Oh, absolutely not.
So when people say, "Oh my God, this is horrible. This market is terrible," if somebody hasn't been through this type of market before, and they're coming into the market now, they might have only been in the industry, let's say, for like the last 10 years or so. So that was right after really what had happened during 2007, 2008 crash, or people 5 years in the industry, people 3 years in the industry that are killing it in real estate. And now they're like, wait, what's going on here? But the difference is they are already socially adapt to the internet and technology versus older real estate agents that are freaking out and scared. But guys like you and me, we have people around us that are good with technology. So we did a different story. So why don't you tell them a little bit about your story? Guys, I joke around. You can call him William, you can call him Bill. I was joking around calling Bill the Kid. Tell everybody your own words, basically what's going on or what you feel is adding value to people in the industry for 20 years and going forward. Go ahead.
Well, I think first off, I think there's a lot of emotional reactions right now. I don't think people are reacting to something physically happening. People are reacting to out of control emotions. Truly, that's what's actually going on right now. I closed a real estate transaction yesterday where the seller was in Germany. You think we have it bad here in the United States right now? Dude, in Germany, she literally cannot leave her house. It's not a matter of she can leave her house in certain circumstances or anything else like that. Like, they cannot be in the streets at all. They are flat out locked down. They got cops everywhere. And if you try to leave your house, you're not getting out the door. That's all there is to it. Closed with a mobile notary. Not that big of a deal. This poor
Right.
woman is a cancer survivor, as a matter of fact. She literally just finished chemo and radiation right around Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas time,
Mhm.
early December, late November. And so, I mean, she's trying to nurse herself back to health as it stands right now with all this stuff going on. It's still closed. She still had a pleasant attitude the entire time. The notary was pleasant. Everything about it was pleasant.
So let's back up, because you're talking about somebody that's in Germany.
Yeah.
Did they have a property in the United States?
Yeah, they had a property in Florida that we bought yesterday. So this was an acquisition. We acquired it yesterday, but nothing. Look, we're gonna have little minor things go wrong, right? Like your mail might take a little longer to get to you because they have to, sterilize the mail, and the mail carriers have a little bit of extra work to do, stuff like that. As far as closings go, depending where you are, I mean, obviously, we in the United States are different than any other nation in the world. In the concept of, like, we've got different states that do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like right now, Florida is doing something completely different than what California is doing. New Jersey's doing completely different than what New York is doing. They all have their own choice. You know what I mean? We are unique in that respect, very unique in that respect. Each real estate market's going to be different. If you're in New York right now, for example, and you're under a much stricter shutdown than many other states are, because New York was hit so hard, your situation in New York is going to be slightly different than it's going to be in, say, Texas. You know what I mean? Like, because your state government is doing things differently. Now, that doesn't mean that the real estate market's dead. The real estate market is not dead. It's absolutely not dead. That's just flat out bullshit. I got a couple of components that I am seeing right now that make me a lot more optimistic about real estate, future tense, rather than being pessimistic about it. Now, do I think there's going to be some stuff that's going to happen that's probably going to suck? Well, obviously. But doesn't that happen all the time? People are going to miss mortgage payments. Yes, of course they are. Half of the country's governors just told them they don't have to pay their fucking bills. What do you expect they're going to do? Of course they're going to go, oh, cool, rent's free now. If you think that's not impacting me, literally 70% of my tenants haven't paid me yet. Most of them have reached out to me, and they're open to conversation about it. The most common response that I've got is, I'm terribly sorry, that's all I got. I got no income coming in. I'm going to have to hang on to this for a little bit, but I will catch up with you. We have an understanding, so I don't give a shit.
So, that's a really good point. So, right now, people are getting mixed feelings whether or not pay my rent, not pay my rent. F you, I don't have to pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
What is it for you, for the tenants that you have that are communicating with you? What is your understanding in the state of Florida as far as being able to collect the rent? Can you alter the lease? Can you change the lease after 3 months?
I'm not doing that. I'll explain. In all cases, every single one of these tenants, they're all good. They're all good people. They're all good people. The vast majority of these people have literally been laid off against their will, and they haven't yet had their finances straightened out, like unemployment and all that other stuff. Unemployment's a mess nationwide right now. I'm sure 2 weeks from now, by May 1st, I'm sure that will be substantially better. It'll be operating substantially cleaner than it currently is. But what I'm doing right now, if somebody can't pay me rent because they're downright terrified, what am I going to do? I'm going to terrorize my tenants? I've got tenants that have been consistently paying me rent without anybody missing for 40 months now? You think I'm going to snap because somebody misses a payment because there's a worldwide pandemic going on? No. I'm just going to chill the hell out and take the losses. That's it. Like, sometimes you have to put people before profit, right? That's something that I've been hearing from my buddy Matt Marinoff for a really fucking long time. And if you're able to put people before profit, it'll pay off in the long run. Really, truly will. Am I taking a financial hit right now? Yes, I absolutely am. I'll tell you that much. My bank account has never seen less activity than it has this month. Really and truly. Am I going to panic about it? No. That's why we're supposed to have reserves. It's why we're supposed to have discipline, man. That's what it's all about. If you're a disciplined person and you take your work seriously, and you're an innovative person, you're going to win. Fact of the matter is, it's going to be the people that can operate more like water, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that can go, okay, there's an obstacle here, like as in I can't meet up and physically handshake with somebody. I like door knocking. That's one of my favorite lead generation methods. I can't do that right now. But guess what? My phone still works, doesn't it? So I can still call people. Problem solved. I can't meet up with people and have documents signed in person with the same level of ease I used to. But guess what? We have about 10,000 pieces of technology, including online notarization, let alone just online signatures. We're in a situation right now where if you choose to look for the positive rather than bitching, whining, and complaining, if you choose to look for the positive and look for what you can do, there is absolutely no reason for anybody to not be productive right now. You know what we're going to have over the course of the rest of this year? I'm going to tell you a couple of things I see. Number one, more people are going to be self-employed at the end of this COVID-19 fuckface pandemic. More people are going to end up completely and totally self-reliant by the end of this than we had before it. I guarantee you that. There is no other possibility. Human beings are innovative creatures. We have to adapt and evolve. It's what we're going to do, period. I'm not, and I want to be crystal clear about this, I'm not talking about anything having to do with anybody's politics, and I'm not talking about anything having to do with medical shit. I will say right now, there's a bunch of political mess all over the world because so many countries are not in agreement and they're acting psychotic, okay? The fact that there's not a universal approach to things is a little, difficult. I know jack shit about medical stuff. I'm not a doctor. I have no medical training of any kind. So I'm not going to try to be an expert on it. And guess what else? I'm not going to try to learn a whole shitload of information about medical either. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't have 20 years to dedicate to learning medicine right now. So what I'm going to do is nice and simple. What do I know is safe right now? What do I know for an absolute fact is definitely safe? This thing right in front of me, which, by the way, I hate this thing, okay? I hate technology. I'm not a technology guy. I've never been a technology guy, and I'm probably never going to be one. But I can use this thing in 1,000 different ways right now to make money without having to shake anybody's hands. The fact of the matter is, what actually changed with COVID-19? For people in the real estate industry, I'm not speaking about other things. I get it. If you're a school teacher, you're laid off, and all kinds of other jobs are laid off. Personally, I say this. If you got the W-2 9-to-5 thing going, now's the time to wake the fuck up and get yourself out of that position. That's what I have to say. If you're doing the W-2 9-to-5 where you are forced to tolerate traffic on your way to work, sit in a miserable office surrounded by a bunch of people all day long, and then sit in traffic on your way back from work, again, figure out your way out of that shit. Yes, a lot of people lost their jobs. There's a lot of things that are being shut down. Let alone companies, there are going to be entire industries that don't exist after this because they don't fucking make sense. For example, call centers. Do you think call centers might change? You're not going to have people sitting shoulder to shoulder now that we've learned so much about the spread of disease. It has nothing to do with this specific illness. It's just a matter of it's dangerous to have 75 people breathing the same air in a 15 by 15 room. You know what I mean? It's a bad idea. Even for the common cold, the flu, or any other illness, those business models are outdated. They got to die off like the fucking dinosaurs did, man. They have to. That's all there is to it. You evolve. Whoever's willing to evolve, whoever is willing to take advantage of the opportunities that do exist, rather than whining like a little bitch about the opportunities that don't exist, that's who's coming out of this victorious. So we got a choice. We can sit here and whine about everything that's not right, which quite frankly is the worst thing you could possibly do for your mindset. You're putting yourself in a pure negative frame of mind. Why not instead be extremely grateful for the things we can do and have a winner's attitude rather than the world's over, the sky's falling? Half the people that I see on social media right now, like I could change all their profile pictures to fucking Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. That is half of the people on my social media right now. Eeyore. It's just the sky's falling, the world is over, if it even is a good day. Just like, Jesus, you people need a slap. Like big open-handed pimp slap, seriously. Just wake the fuck up. It's not that hard. You can still do all kinds of things. If you happen to be a person that's not in real estate, and let's say your industry has changed as a result of this, Or let's say maybe some of the regulations, laws that might come as a result of this, or general practices within society that might come as a result of this. Maybe as a society, I think this is highly likely, maybe we will start having better sanitary habits to begin with. You know, that might just collectively, not necessarily individual people, but think about this. We might have better overall practices of sanitizing all surfaces from now on. We probably got pretty lazy about it before this COVID shit came about, right? We probably did. Most people, most industries probably did. Notice how in most places that I'm aware of personally, grocery stores have been opening a little later and closing a little earlier, right? So what they're doing now is they're giving themselves substantial extra time to sterilize everything. Would it be so bad if they continued that habit after this shit passes?
No.
Do you think that would be a bad idea? Do you think maybe that would generally benefit just about everybody? You know, so look at the positives in it is my point. I mean, you want to talk about, here's what I can tell you on the medical side, okay? And it's the only thing that I have the right to state when it comes to medical. It's a fact. I have MS myself, multiple sclerosis, which is a pretty serious neurological condition that can cripple people. For that reason, I designed the vast majority of my business activities to function in such a way that I do not have to leave my house. If I leave my house, great. But I was told by a neurologist in 2006, which is when I started coaching people, I was told by a neurologist in 2006 that I should wake up to the possibility of living the rest of my life in a wheelchair because of having MS.
Can you stand up?
14 years later, yes, I can. Casually.
Do you think a lot of it is mind over matter? You don't mind and I don't matter?
It's not a lot of it. It's fucking all of it. It's all of it. If your mentality, if your attitude is no matter what, I'm going to win, period. That's the name of the game. The game is called I win. I don't give a fuck what the rules are. I don't care what the game is. I don't care what's going on. My attitude is I did not show up here to comply or to blend in. I was put on this planet to fucking take over. Okay? That's how I approach it. That's how I approach my business to begin with. I'm going to accomplish every single thing I set out to accomplish. Does it mean that I have to occasionally change? Yeah. Am I going to fucking whine about it and cry about it? No. Guess what? At some point in time, human beings used to walk around barefoot, and they invented shoes because they got sick of stepping on sharp things and cutting their feet all up, right? Nice basic little example. It's kind of how life goes. When things get challenging, when certain challenges come up, we innovate so that we can either go around those challenges or go through those challenges. But we don't stand there and whine about it and the sky's falling. Oh my God, it's over. No. I mean, is the economy going to absolutely tank? In certain ways, yeah. In certain ways, yeah. There's no way to deny that. We got 22 million people that have filed unemployment in the past 4 weeks. That is inevitably going to have an impact on the economy. I'm not here to say there's no impact on the economy. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. All I'm saying is if people spent the exact same time that they're currently spending bitching about the inconvenience of this pandemic on figuring out what they actually can do, right? If people spent more time on empowering themselves rather than beating themselves up and pushing themselves down and saying, I can't do it, everything's broken, nothing works. Fuck all that. How about evolve a little bit? This is what I need to accomplish. I need to get documents signed. How am I going to get documents signed if I'm not supposed to leave my house? Shit, how do I do that? I don't know. Maybe I could utilize some kind of an online technology thing that can help me. You know, I'm not saying that there's no challenges. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is the more time we spend crying about what's not going right, the less time we're spending actually working on doing what we can do. So rather than whining about it, bitching about it, and protesting in public about how you need to go back outside, I don't care if I never shake another hand again. I never actually enjoyed it that much to begin with, to be honest with you. It's not a thing I love. You know what I mean?
People that are introverts are going to make a shitload of money then.
Yes, people, and you know what? A lot of people that are extroverts are going to learn how to function in somewhat of an introvert manner. You know, there's a lot of introverts out there that had to go out to, you know, there are people in fucking Hollywood that have been up, you know, accepting Oscars and Grammys and all kinds of other shit. World famous celebrities that were born introverts that had to force themselves to become an extrovert in order to get shit done. Well, guess what? We're kind of in an opposite position right now. If you go with like the DISC system, personality profiling, right? The I personality types, which is the super social people that care more about their social life than any other component of life, are struggling a little bit right now. If you literally require parties, activities, drinks at the bar every night with your friends, all kinds of interaction, if you require that, if you're a super social person, this is probably paralyzing right now. It probably hurts. Me, well, let me put it this way, Matt. How often do you and I speak? Realistically, maybe once every couple months?
Yeah, probably.
I would say you're in my top 20 closest friends, okay? That's how frequently I speak to people. I talk to almost nobody every week. I talk to people like once a month. That's how I am as a human being. I'm not a social guy. Never fucking have been. So this doesn't affect me. But guess what? When I need to do my job, there's really not all that much difficulty. If you choose to not see obstacles and instead to see opportunities, you're going to see opportunities. But if you want to be a negative Nancy and just go, nothing works, I can't do it, I can't do it, I need a government stimulus check. I want to talk about something that's really stupid and that's really bad. As far as this economy thing goes, I'm be real blunt about it. The worst thing that's happened economically so far is the fact that our government panicked and passed the $6 trillion stimulus bill rather than calming down and taking it step by step. They did that big, massive whack like that. Dude, the damage that causes
You know why they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you my version, and you're going to agree or disagree.
Okay.
What I think the government should have done was told the general population based on what was going on. And honestly, I think the numbers that they're throwing out there are not real. You can't jump in automatically and, throw out a fictitious number and say, these are the number of cases that we have. I think there's plenty of people that actually have the virus or had the virus, and maybe coming towards the end of the virus that didn't really know that they actually had the virus.
Mm-hmm.
People that have the virus right now that are hopefully coming towards the end of the virus. As far as the government's concerned, and this isn't a government conspiracy. This is me just being real, knowing that what I went through during 2007, 2008, they jumped the gun with those modifications and the way that they did it. They made it more of a fucking Band-Aid loan than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then had to go back in and try to revamp it.
Mm-hmm.
There were things that they should have done differently. This time around, this isn't really government driven. This is something by somebody, as Trump would say, China, where there was a virus that was created in China, and that virus made it over here. Now, whether Trump actually actively pursued what he needed to do in a factually manner or not, this isn't really anybody else to judge, because he also had advisories around him, people advising him. So when somebody's always like, oh, Trump this and Trump that, guys, listen, like every other great president that was around, they all have people around them that are supposed to be giving them advice.
Yes.
Nobody knew how to fucking react to this. That's the bottom line. Now, personally, what I think they should do, starting next month, they gave everybody the $1,200 or whatever the hell they gave them, and they're giving people unemployment, all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should do a hard fucking reset. Minimum 2 months, defer everything. 2 months. Tell everybody to stay the fuck home for 30 days and do a hard reset. And the reason why they're probably not going to do it, for whatever reason, is they're not going to want to try to help to bail out the banks. They're not going to want to try to bail out, the auto industry, which I'm sure they're going to. I know they're bailing out the travel industry with planes and stuff like that. My concern is that because this is going to become the new normal, this is something that really could be contained now if they're willing to do a hard reset. And it stinks to think about not really going out into Gen Pop for 30 to 60 days. But if that's what it would take to make things normal or semi-normal again, why wouldn't they do that? The government has wars where people go over into other countries and lay in foxhole and mud and get ticks and fleas and infestation and malaria and all that other crap. Somebody can't sit on their fucking couch for 30 to 60 days. Do your part and give everybody a deferment, and then jumpstart, literally shut everything down. Shut the stock market down, shut everything down, and the stock market stays the way it is. Everything stays status quo. Tell people just chill the fuck out and restart the country. We've never had anything like this before, not that I know of.
We've never had a reaction like this before. We've had things like this before. We've had deadly virus. I mean, AIDS has killed more people. AIDS has killed so many people that right now, we're talking 25 million plus people have died from AIDS. You know what I mean? So,
but that was more of a social disease because people are not wearing protection. Now you're talking, you have to walk bypass somebody with a mask on. I went to 3 stores. One of them actually had somebody outside the supermarket. They're not letting anybody in unless you have a mask on. And I see the social distancing used to be 6 feet. Looks like they're at 10 feet, which I don't know if they're implementing that or people just don't want to be close to people. And then one store had all the doors open and they had stools and big red stop signs. If you don't have a mask on, you can't enter. I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I just think that, general population, people in general that are very socially in depth and have to go out and see other people, the majority of the people, I think, are not smart enough to know that wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Just do your part. You don't want to put gloves on, you get in your car, you have your hand sanitizer, clean your hands. The other thing is, too, like I went out before with my wife, and it's funny, Billy, because for me, they talk about cleaning your hands. Make sure you to clean, wear a mask. And I got to tell you, how about practicing hygiene? Some of these people just stink.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like every time I have left my house, I went to Walmart a couple of days ago. I walked past a couple of people and I was literally tempted to grab them and be like, listen, motherfucker, just because they told you specifically to wash your hands doesn't mean that's the only body part you should be washing. You should still be showering. Totally.
I don't know what the concept is behind that. I think it's just sheer laziness. I think that in general, people should wash their hands. Who hasn't been to a restaurant as a guy, seen people go into a school, do their business, come out, and just leave? They don't even wash their hands. That's gross. Yep. So I think, hopefully people will be more adept with that. They'll do it. Look, people are always going to get a cold. People are always going to get some type of virus, some type of flu, depending on what's going on. I think that it's a new normal where this is something that we have to adapt to. And hopefully in the next 6 to 7 months, they're going to come out with the serum that's going to be able to interact. I know they have drugs out now that people are able to take, and it's helping them. If anything, it's going to make people really take a look at the big picture of where they want to be in life and how far they want to contribute or not. Somebody that's home right now, watching Netflix all day long, not looking, at either educational videos, listening to podcasts, tuning into, stream lives like this, offering real constructive criticism for people in all walks of life, no matter what it is. Whether you work at McDonald's, a loading dock, whether you're in real estate, whether you're a vaginal rejuvenation specialist, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's cool. Sharpen your skills. Be a better you. And you know what? People always look at, and you may agree or not agree with me with this, not everybody wants to be the general. Not everybody wants to be in charge. Some people just want to clock in and out, 9 to 5 job, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know plenty of people that are like that. I know people that left this industry when the industry wasn't as crazy and they were selling all sorts of things. And I talked about how we know people that are starting to get back into the industry because they want to be relevant with the times. And there's nothing wrong with that. I never left. I was here. So I'm getting phone calls from people that say, hey, thinking about getting back into it. Will your team process the short sales? I don't want to process anymore. I don't really per se know the rules, regulations, and guidelines, but I got a sphere of influence. You cool with that? What am I going to say? No? Of course. It's a sign of the times. And that's okay. And I don't mind partnering up with other people to do short sales. What I do mind is people that are not investing the time in speaking with these people and explaining, really, the pros and cons of doing a short sale. Can they save their property? Everybody's always trying to go, right in for the kill and to try to get a quick deal and put a deal together. Some people have the right to keep their property, save their homes. You are, without question, one of the people that I would know. You say I'm in your top 20. I would say you're probably, 20, 30 people that I actually respected in the industry that says it like it is. We talked about before we got jumped on here, and I was joking about how you can't curse on here. And you said, oh, okay, no problem, no problem. For me, I've actually cleaned up what I say and how I say it on social media because people get offended easily.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to launch my podcast probably, hopefully, in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to take a lot of these podcasts and throw it out there and edit it because not everybody wants to hear whole stories. They want to hear bits and pieces, interviews with people and what they have to say. It's almost like hooked on phonics.
Yeah.
People don't want to learn everything. They want to learn bits and pieces. Nobody wants to become an expert. Everybody wants to be, a jack of all trades. But at the end of the day, been in this industry for 20 years. You're not a jack of all trades. You're somebody who was a mortgage. You were a real estate broker. You had people work for you. You were in financing, rehab, rentals, wholesale, short sales, new construction, notes, creative strategies. These are things that you use on a daily basis. So when somebody calls somebody and they don't know how to put a transaction together, guys, the point of me doing these things Monday through Friday is to bring people together so they can network with others. I'm not looking for a VIG. This is about giving back. That's why his information's on the bottom of the screen. That's his direct cell phone number. Not many people are allowing that. Text him, call him, follow him on Facebook. You could say, hey, I saw you off of Matt's Live, or you could say, hey, I saw you on the internet. It doesn't really matter either way. What's up, real estate lady? What are you bringing us? Lunch? What do we got?
She brought me some cantaloupe. This is my girlfriend, Kristen. She's hanging with me here.
Hi, buddy.
Kristen, I understand you're a real estate agent.
Yes.
What's your feeling on the market right now?
Well, the shorts on my listings are all down, so that's kind of a bummer, but
I can't see you. Move in.
Come on.
okay.
Yeah.
That's my short sale expert right here, so that's actually how we met. So he was working on my short sales. Yeah.
Was he like, hey, can I show you something short? And you're like, wait a second, fella.
It's that kind of podcast, huh? I like that. That's awesome.
How long have you been in real estate?
Going on 4 years now.
Holy shit, you got some blue ass eyes, lady.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Okay. How many years? 4 years?
In here. I didn't know I'd be on camera, but okay.
Yeah, the door's captured with the camera.
Yeah.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, that's kind of what he thought too. I sound like a 12-year-old on the phone, so that doesn't really help me, but I do what I can.
So you've been in real estate 4 years?
Yeah, I'm more interested in the investment side of it. So I just kind of put that on the back burner for a while because I figured it wasn't like the right time to get in it because it was such a seller's market. So I just kind of did the realtor thing just because it was there.
That's cool. Absolutely. Well, we're actually going to be doing a lot more business together, I would say, in the next 12 months. So
that sounds good. That sounds good.
Definitely get to know you. Thanks for popping on the screen. Are you shipping that cantaloupe down over to Jersey as well?
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of a ride. I don't know about that. He's probably just going to eat it in front of you, to be honest.
That's okay. That's okay. No worries.
Possibly. I don't really have to.
I'm gonna sit in my corner over here and just soak in all the genius if you guys don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay, perfect. All right, good deal.
Thank you. So I love the fact that you've got in-house counsel there with you as far as a real estate agent out in the street. Obviously, she could take a look at the properties. I think, a second set of eyes. There's nothing wrong with that. My wife is a real estate agent as well. So it's really about showing others. And right now, I think people should take advantage of the education that's going to be out there, more education that's going to pop up, and really just, fine tune whatever they have right now, what makes them different than anybody else. And I think people look too much into what others are doing and not really focusing on themselves. There's more jealousy, I would say, than anything else. And, I'm personally hearing stuff where, Matt's doing a live stream right now. Like, yeah, I am doing a live stream. So you can either tune in or you can shut the fuck up. I don't care either way. You either want to take advantage and learn and be thankful that I haven't cut you off my Facebook feed yet. And I'm allowing you to learn the information that I'm providing and rise above and be thankful for that. A lot of the groups or organizations or people that I'm involved with right now, we're just trying to lend a helping hand. That's the whole purpose of the Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock. I did mention that I'm going to be doing some stuff, after dark, around 7 o'clock every night. So, maybe we could talk about maybe doing something together as far as, giving back.
I'd love to. I just started doing something, and this is going to be literally by invitation only because I'm keeping it super small. Trying to keep this as tight as possible, but just started last night. We did a Zoom call, actually. I know you're not a fan of Zoom, but we did a Zoom call last night, and I think we had like 14 people on, something like that. Very specifically chosen people. And we discussed a whole bunch of stuff about what's going on real estate wise specifically. I don't really claim to understand all industries. Okay. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not going to say the economy is going to be fine for everybody. I think there are definitely some industries that are going to really get either badly injured, badly hurt, or just flat out wiped out. There are some industries that are just not going to sustain this. And some of them were on the verge of going anyway, let's be honest. All right. There are definitely some things out there that people still do that really don't need to be done. Or at least don't need to be done by a person, because of technology. We've been going in that direction. Well, technology is accelerating now. My thought, and this is one of the reasons for it, it's just one, there are many, many, many reasons that I believe residential real estate, and I need to be specific with that, residential real estate, because commercial real estate, a lot of industries, like I said, a lot of industries that can't survive this type of a thing are not going to be able to pay their rent. I think commercial was kind of overdue to get hit, and I think commercial's getting hit. Matter of fact, I know it is. Residential, I think, is going to stay solid, and one of the major reasons that I think it's going to stay solid, by stay solid, I do not mean it's not going to come down a bit. I'm not saying that, and I don't want anybody putting those fucking words in my mouth. But what I will say is this. I think there's an additional preservation of value here now, okay? And here's what it is. What you and I are doing right now, tens of millions of other Americans are doing the exact same thing that we're doing right now. They're online, utilizing some kind of an online communication platform to continue doing their jobs. One of the best examples I'll give, one of the least respected, but should be respected professions out there, teachers, school teachers, they get treated like shit. They have been teaching classes from home, all right? Something that, kids have always had to go to school, right? And they've been teaching classes from home. Many states across the country and many countries across the world, there's a massive shift in the direction of putting education online, making education an online thing. So rather than having a time requirement of you've got to be in class for X amount of hours, I think it's going to turn out to be you've got to study this material, whether by video, reading, whatever, audio, who knows, and then you've got to complete your exams online. Perhaps people can work in a way where it's not 40 hours of education every week, but simply accomplish the things that you were supposed to accomplish during that. So if you're a faster learner, you can finish school on Monday for the week. I think that's going to happen. I truly do.
It's funny you mention that because, my oldest is not a big fan of school. My youngest isn't a big fan of school, but my two different reasons. The youngest is he's got his IQ must be like ridiculous because he just plows through the work. He's definitely bored with education. he does his whole, school day by the time it's 10:30 in the morning. Work through it. Whereas my oldest has a totally different view of it, doesn't like that, almost has like an entrepreneurial way of thinking, which I'm never going to discourage. And both of them, for obvious reasons, are not as stressed as they normally would be if they were to be in the normal, school setting, and they're getting their work done, and they're happy.
Exactly.
And I don't have to hear, oh, I got a headache, I got a stomach ache, I don't feel good, whatever it is. Like, they're getting up and they're doing their work, and that has a lot to say. I'm not from a huge, thinker of homeschooling and stuff like that, but just the idea of the difference of, how it makes, my kids feel. And as long as they're getting the work done and their grades are better. I mean, my oldest kid, his grades are actually better now being home for certain things than if he was at school, and his teachers are checking in with them and doing Zoom calls. So I agree as far as, the educational platform. I think this is a component that's not going to go away. I will tell you one thing that's going to make a lot of kids upset. I don't think we're going to have any more snow days up here in New Jersey, because if you can't get to school, no problem. We're going to be doing online lessons today. That's going to piss a lot of kids off, but it is what it is.
You know what, man? We don't have all the answers yet, but what I'm going to tell you is this. Everything that I've seen so far is in the direction of, now I'm different than a lot of people in that I'm more introverted. Some people may not think that based on social media or whatever, but as far as physically gathering with people, I don't do it. If I walk into a room and there's more than 3 or 4 people in that room, I'm kind of like, how quickly can I get the fuck out of here, rather than, wow, I'm enjoying myself. I show up at a big party.
Be related to my wife.
Dude, I show up at a big party and I'm just like, shit, I don't want to be here right now. It's not my thing. It's just not. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own ways, right? But the positives that I'm seeing right now, a couple of major positives, right? Less driving for everybody. Less driving. What's that mean? Well, a lot of different things. A lot less deaths from car accidents, because it's literally the most dangerous thing we do every single day is getting behind the wheel of a car and driving around. Hell of a lot less deaths from car accidents right now because of the fact that we're working in the direction of more of a virtual economy, right? A lot of people that I know, I've never been a tech guy. Never been a tech guy. There's more than one reason that I look a little like a caveman here, okay?
Yeah.
Seriously, there's more than one reason for that. I very much am. I'm a naturalist. I'm into that. I have no interest in.
Is that your real hair?
Yes, this is my real hair.
So you have long hair and you braided it into, is it braid, dreadlocks? What do you got going there?
Dreadlocks, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it is dreadlocks, yeah. And yes, it is my real hair. I lost my little brother about a little over 2 years ago. 2 years and 3 months ago, so 28 months ago. And my youngest son had moved out about 3 years ago. So I literally stopped cutting my hair 3 years ago. I haven't cut my hair in 3 years. And this is easier. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to do anything.
But you are showering now.
Yes, I'm showering. I just don't comb my hair. That's really all that's different. If you don't comb it, I wash my hair all the time, but if you don't comb it, it does this.
I got you.
So that's all there is with that. Anyway, aside from my fantastic, gorgeous looks, I mean, everybody knows if they follow me on social media in any way, shape, or form, my hashtag is Handsome Lives Matter. That came out back when we had the Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter thing, and I'm literally watching people on social media screaming at each other, going, "Blue lives don't matter, Black lives matter, these lives matter, this lives matter." I'm like, fuck all y'all, Handsome Lives Matter. I don't need to hear any of that. Obviously, everybody's life matters. Nobody's worthless. That's a stupid. Well, politicians are. Just saying. We'll keep that between us and everybody watching, though. Okay. My proposal, what I would have said, honestly, as far as how to handle this shit economically, what I would have said, rather than $6 trillion stimulus package, which is what it's going to be, Rather than doing that, what I would have said is the exact same thing that I've been saying for the past 20 years. Repeal the 16th Amendment and the problem solves itself. If you were to get rid of the IRS and the Federal Reserve and put people's finances in their own hands and eliminate the vast majority of production-based taxation, so the taxation is simply when you buy something, you pay sales tax. Like when you buy gasoline, one of the biggest factors in the price of gasoline, and most people don't realize this, is taxes. Depending where you live, those taxes vary. Each state's different, okay? But there's also federal gasoline tax, which is what pays for your roads, by the way. So had we done that, had we repealed the 16th Amendment, get rid of the Federal Reserve so we don't have inflationary money, we're not just printing money, but money is the way that it's actually supposed to be, sound money, right, that has intrinsic tangible value, that would be an entirely different story.
Are people filing their tax returns with you as president?
No. With me as president, my very first act, day one, would be to bomb the IRS out of existence. That would be the very first thing that I do. I would literally controlled demolition every single IRS building anywhere in the country at the exact same time and throw a massive "we don't pay no more motherfucking taxes" party. It would be like the Boston Tea Party, only better.
This is all fictitious stuff. This is alleged. This isn't something that's happening. Okay?
No, it's not something that's happening, man. Wow, now here I am talking about everybody having a positive outlook. You just told me that's not happening, and now I'm feeling slightly depressed. Kidding. But I do think that would be a solution, man. It's really simple. You can't rob people of trillions of dollars a year in taxation that, I mean, it gets lost all over the place. I'm not talking about politics. I don't give a shit about Democrat, Republican. I don't care about any of that. That's a personal choice for everybody. They can make their own choices in that regard, okay? But fiscally, we as a nation would be a hell of a lot better off if we stopped paying massive inflated taxes all over the place. And then we don't need a fucking stimulus. You don't have to give people their money back if you don't steal it in the first place. Just saying. It's just a thought. But, dude, the biggest thing that I really wanted to get across with my thought pattern here is that a couple of factors are contributing to real estate, residential real estate. Number one, it hasn't stopped and it's not stopping. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there are some factors that are strengthening the demand. A lot of people during this quarantine time, I want everybody that is in real estate to think about this. A lot of people during this quarantine time, or self-imposed if it is, or even those of you that are essential workers and you're not quarantined, but you're going through a slightly higher level of stress than usual, right? How many people do you think are sitting in their house right now going, as soon as this is all over, I'm getting rid of this fucking place. I need a new place. I'm sick of my refrigerator. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. Lots of people are going to. People are spending a lot more time at home. That gives them a lot more chance to examine the flaws of their current home, right? Don't you think? Yeah, that is a big thing. Also, the past couple of years in most major metropolitan areas, most, not all, but most major metropolitan areas, the market has been so damn hot that buyers can't get properties.
That's absolutely true.
I know dozens of buyers that are personal friends that get fucking outbid every time they try to buy a house, and they've been frustrated and expressing frustration to me for years. I've had friends that are not in the industry coming to me going, hey, could we work a deal where I can buy one of your flip houses when you're done with it? Maybe I can pick the things along the way, because I can't get a fucking house once they go on the market. Every time I like a house, it's gone, and somebody's paying $40,000 more than asking. Well, that was going on right up until the point where this all stopped, where we all shut down a little bit. You know, I had people in February literally calling me up and flipping out about, you know, the rates are going to be 18% again by the time I finally get an offer accepted on something. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to buy my first house, or trying to buy a house now that I sold it. One couple that I know sold a property. They're out in Las Vegas area. Sold a property with the intention of buying another property. The seller canceled the transaction. They've been living in a hotel for 4 months. Couple that's a friend of mine. Sold their property right around Thanksgiving. They've been living in a hotel for 4 months now because the property they were supposed to buy in January, the seller backed out.
That's crazy.
You think those people might be buying a house? You think they might have a motivation where they're paying $275 a night for the past 4 fucking months? You think they might have a motivation to be willing to pay a little over asking?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people like that, man. There's a lot of people. How about another factor? There's a lot of people whose industries have been shut down who may finally decide to leave where they live. Like, I'm not picking on any state, and I don't want anybody to take this shit personally. I have a bad habit of people misinterpreting my words and not being happy about what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're out in Wisconsin and you work in some kind of an industry that was negatively impacted by this. Your employer is going to close down. You now need to change industries. Well, you've always kind of felt like you wanted to move to some other place. You wanted to move out to Seattle. Well, now you're going to move out to Seattle, get into a new industry, and start fresh. I think this is more positive than negative. Let me put it that way. I think the innovations that will come out of this time frame, because of all of what's been happening here, I think the innovations that will come out of this time frame are going to be absolutely mind-blowing. I think human beings are going to come up with some amazing shit over the course of the next 90 to 180 days. And I think most of the people that are super unbelievably negative right now are going to just grow the fuck up and stop whining about everything. They're instead going to be like, all right, I've been whining for 6 months now. Maybe I should just shut up and start, looking for positives rather than bitching about negatives. That's my thought. That's my feeling on the matter. I think that we as a species have a tendency to evolve and adapt, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where we didn't have cars. Wasn't all that long ago. Know what I mean? So we come up with solutions. It's what we do. That's literally hardwired into our DNA to come up with solutions every time there's an issue. That's what we do. That's how we're wired. It's how we're created. So while people are sitting here whining, the saying that I saw, I've seen it on a meme 1,000 times. Something along the lines of, the people who want to sit there and bitch about how something is impossible should really just get the fuck out of the way of the people who are doing it. You know what I mean? People who want to complain, naysayers, should just get the hell out of the way of the action takers, because the fact of the matter is action takers are going to win 100% of the time. That's always been the case. That always will be the case. If you want to get all doom and gloom and be Eeyore, go right ahead. That's perfectly fine. Just don't fucking whine about it when you can't pay your bills at all 6 months from now, because it's impossible for the government to provide for everybody forever. Okay?
Right. Well, there are a couple of people here that are making comments.
Okay.
That are not showing up on this feed, but they're showing up on another feed.
I don't understand any of that. So just tell me what the comments are and we'll do what we got to do.
Well, a young lady by the name of Lauren says she loves your hair. They look like dreads. A gentleman by the name of Kevin is saying, yes, get rid of the IRS. Totally agree. Ryan said, put us back on the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, Michael says, join the club. Michael says, I love Matt. I love you too. And that's it for those questions. But there are people on, it's funny because right here it says 13, but on one of my other lives it says I have 18. So we're actually going live on a couple of different platforms right now, but have to figure out how to get everybody on the same thing where I can see all the messages. So people are definitely tuning in and they're definitely looking at you physically. And you know what? I think they're realizing that
handsome lives matter. Damn straight.
Handsome lives matter.
Dude, I've been trying to tell people this as frequently as possible, and so many people ignore it. I really feel like the world in itself would be a much better place if that hashtag was used more frequently.
I believe so, my friend. I believe so. So we're coming up. We've been doing this for an hour. I got to tell you, I feel like I've only been talking to you for about 15 minutes.
Likewise, man. I could do this all day long. I mean, it's a matter of who you're talking to. You know what I mean?
I think so. You and I are on the same page. You know, knowing you now for 2008, so what, 12 years?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Guys, I've never met Billy in person. We've known each other socially on social platform, you know, running in various different circles, running with people that are in the industry. Billy is definitely one of the people that I would look to for anything as far as, you know, being in real estate. I mean, it says it right here, you know, tune the fuck in, people. We're diving deep, 20 years in real estate. He was a real estate broker, definitely not with that hair. He was involved in financing, rehabs, which he's doing still, rentals, wholesaling, short sales, new construction, notes, creative strategies. So, I mean, his information is right there. That is not it. His information is somewhere. Oh, here it is. His information is on the bottom of the screen. So if you want to reach out to him directly and you want to tell him how great or how sexy his voice is, how handsome he is, and his hair, just note he does have a living girlfriend, and it is not open relationship. As far as I know.
Yeah, not into that stuff. Yeah, no, I'm doing
But if you want to talk about business, he's absolutely ready to talk business. Anything else, absolutely not. Do you have anything in closing that you want to basically, offer to somebody who's maybe watching you for the first time, besides the way you look? Obviously, you are a pretty normal person. You act semi-normal. You do take showers every day. You
Yes.
haven't cut your hair in the last 4 years. Apparently, you don't own a clean razor. But you are one smart motherfucker, and that is one of the reasons why we are friends.
I greatly appreciate that, my friend. Dude, here's what I think more than anything else. I think people need to understand that you don't need a final answer right now on any given thing. What you need to do is you need to be aware, awake, paying attention to what's going on around you, and pay attention to the winners. Follow the winners. Pay attention to people that are making shit happen. Do not pay attention to the people that are spreading doom and gloom messages and dumping negativity on your newsfeed. I say a bunch of negative shit about the government all the time and about the IRS and stuff like that. But to me, that's the equivalent of saying that mosquitoes and ticks suck. Like, who disagrees with it? You know what I mean? Fact of the matter is they very much do overreach and they earn those types of comments. But you'll never hear me saying negative things about anything else. I don't have anything negative to say about anything else. And I only say negative things about them because they do a shitload of negative things. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. End of the day, you have to have a positive outlook on it, but you also have to be alert. It's not a matter of just going, everything's fine. I got nothing to worry about. I'm just going to close my eyes and all my problems go away. It's actually the polar opposite of that. You've got to be awake. You've got to be nimble. You've got to be agile. You've got to be able to focus on things. One thing I've been doing over the course of this time is I managed to clean my diet up even further than it was before. I've lost 17 pounds in the past month and a half just from cleaning up my diet. That's it. Just from eliminating a whole bunch of bad health habits that I had previously. I feel better physically. Huh?
No comment.
I feel better physically, though. I feel much better physically, and that's helping substantially in the direction of being more productive mentally. The other thing that I'm doing, I'm tuning into certain people, including yourself, that are taking this time to do something to positively influence others. I know I'm really rough around the edges in a lot of ways, and a lot of people will simply dismiss me immediately for that reason and not even bother listening. And I get that. And quite frankly, I'm grateful that those people do that, because if they're that close-minded in the first place, I really don't feel like I could help them if I wanted to, quite frankly. I think if somebody's mind is that closed, then they're kind of fucked until they grow up. But dead serious, man, I think right now, every single week, look for the new positive things that come up. Look for all the new positive things that come up. There are a lot of good things going on. People are doom and gloom about the economy, doom and gloom about the stock market. Guess what? Right now, today, as we're on this call, Amazon company, everybody's heard of Amazon, right? Everybody? Amazon has hit the highest stock price it's ever hit since the day it was founded today.
That's amazing.
So what does that say about the economy? Is the economy bad?
I think I bought 1,000 shares at $17 a share for Amazon. What is it at today?
2,400 and something. Last time I checked, a little while before this call, it was a little over $2,400.
So 1,000 shares at $17 a share, and it's $2,400 a share.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to cash out and say bye-bye. Now I think.
Well, look, man, here's what I'll tell you, really and truly. What that tells me is this: Amazon, as opposed to, let's compare Amazon and Walmart real quick.
Yeah.
Granted, Walmart has made a lot of moves in the direction of mimicking Amazon, okay? They've come up with much better delivery stuff and all kinds of stuff. They've made some innovations to their business model to try to remain relevant. Amazon has been one of the most successful online companies. Why? They found a problem or a need, and they fixed the problem or filled that need. That's literally, when I learned real estate at the very beginning, I had a couple of mentors. And ever since then, I've gone through multiple trainings. I mean, I've gone through trainings as recently as a couple of months ago. And I still do that, despite being in this industry for 20 years, by the way. I still listen to everybody that has something that they could possibly teach me. You don't get closed-minded. You don't shut your mind and go, hey, this person's only been in the industry for a year. Okay, maybe they've only been in the industry for a year. But guess what? Maybe before they were in the real estate industry, they were in some other industry or some other form of training that taught them a very effective way of doing something. So basically, I never dismiss anybody. Every single human being I meet is my teacher. One way or another, everybody's got something to teach me. If you keep an open mind about that and you look for the people that are pushing you in a positive direction, the people that are pushing you in a way that empowers you, rather than the people that make you feel bad. What do you feel like when you talk to somebody who does nothing but complain? Doesn't it make you kind of feel like, ooh, you know what? I really want to get up and get away from this conversation, right? I don't want to sit here and listen to this. I really don't. This sucks. It's oppressive. You've got to look for the light. That's what you got to be looking for. You got to be looking for the light. Don't be looking for a fucking rain cloud. Look for the sunshine. That's the entire point. There are a lot of people out there that are making it work. Amazon is making it work. They're doing the best they've ever done right now. This is the very best they've ever been right now, at a time when most people are cowering down and hiding under their desk. They're facing the challenges head on. And look what's happening as a result of it. Their stock's at its highest price in history because they're choosing, rather than bitching about something, fixing something. And that's really all it boils down to. In life, we have two options. You can fucking whine about things or you can make things happen. Which one are you? That's all there is to it.
And I think that's how people in general should really take this time. You
Yes.
know, you're either going to be, part of the problem or you're going to be part of the solution. People like you, myself, and other people in our circle, we're looking for ways to better people's situation, to help them. People that otherwise literally are taking their head and burying it in the sand and waiting for this, catastrophe that has come upon us, and hope and pray that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Unfortunately, there's people that make shit happen and there are people that let opportunities pass by. And right now is an amazing time for somebody to sharpen their skills, no matter what it is. And it's not always just about real estate. It's about, finding something that you're passionate about, getting educated about it. Look, I had somebody on yesterday. She's a real estate agent. She left an amazing, deep six-figure job, company car, major benefits, and got into real estate because she felt she can contribute, and she's crushing it, even in this market now. So when somebody says, "Oh my God, nobody's buying, nobody's selling," that's bullshit. Nobody's renting.
It's insane when you listen to these people get negative and put things down, man. Like when I first came into this, a lot of the people that I knew that were getting into real estate, I was getting into it because it was my first career at 18 years old. A lot of the people that were getting into it with me, the people that were taking the licensing classes with me, the people that were taking all of the investment courses and stuff with me, a lot of those people were people who had just been negatively affected by the dot-com bubble, okay? So people that were in IT, making $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, amazing lifestyle, they've got bills that are $15,000, $20,000 a month that they've got to pay. And all of a sudden, of course, no matter how much you make in America, typically people tend to live what? Paycheck to paycheck, right?
100%.
As your income goes up, your bills simply go up. It's not like people save more or anything. They just want to spend more and live more extravagantly. Like you get a pay raise, you simply get a flashier car in this country. That's how we live.
Correct.
But, dude, I was watching people come out of a situation where they're making $500,000, $1 million a year, all kinds of super unbelievable salaries. And these people turn around and, have to get into real estate because they're like, what industry can I get into where I can replace at least the majority of my income? You can't go from $500,000 a year to being a fucking greeter at Walmart. That's simply not an option. That's not something somebody could survive. You know what I mean? Your credit would be tanked, and realistically, the overall chance of divorce, suicide, all kinds of negative things goes through the roof. There's a lot of bad stuff that can happen as a result of that. So instead, focus on the positive stuff and look at some of the people, some of the inspirations out there of people that have gone through much harder shit than you're going through right now. I feel terrible for anybody that is out of work and in financial desperation right now. That's absolutely horrible that you're going through that. But here's what I've got to say about it. If you think the government's going to save you, you might as well jump on your fucking unicorn and take it for a ride around the track, okay? Because the government isn't saving anybody. It's not. It'll give you a temporary relief in a very, very tiny way, but the government is not your savior.
Right.
They're not your savior. If anything, that more often than not, they're a big part of the problem rather than the solution. Don't be looking to them for help. Look to yourself for help. You need to look in the mirror and figure out what you need to do to empower yourself to overcome every single obstacle that comes your way. That's my viewpoint on life, man. If an obstacle is going to get in my way, that obstacle is going to disappear pretty damn quick. I wouldn't want to be an obstacle that wants to get in my way.
100%. When this is all over, I'd love to get together with people like yourself and other individuals, like a real, mastermind of individuals like ourselves, and sit around, a pool, whatever, barbecue, and actually talk about the greater good and things, what's going on, and obviously there's going to be a shift in wealth with everything, the people that are panicking and not understanding what to do. I tell people all the time, I can't help you, but call this person, or if you can't reach out to them, reach out to this person. It's a time to try to help people. This isn't a time to put people down and push people further, down into a rabbit hole. But I have to say, we're pretty much we're out of time right now, and
Yes, sir.
I truly appreciate you coming on and offering the value you're bringing. Every day, obviously, Monday through Friday, we're offering value
Yes, sir.
12 o'clock, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you haven't eaten your cantaloupe yet, and I know you keep staring. You're either staring at that or you're staring at your beautiful girlfriend.
Both.
One or the other. But listen, at the end of every stream I do, I have people do the point. So I want to see if you can do the point. I love it. I don't know why people go to the gun move. There's no gun move. It just I'm talking to you, baby. I'm talking to you. That's it. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on in the live stream. Hang on a sec. I'm going to disconnect. And I'm going to go offline. We're going to talk for a couple minutes. Guys, thank you so much for coming on, listening to my guest today, Billy the Kid, a.k.a. William Bonnell. Amazing person. His information's on here if you're just tuning in now. But the show is over, and the show must go on, and I have to get back to work. So
Yes, sir.
until next time, it's not known to get a restraining order. Hang on one sec.